Still has a minute.
Hello, everybody. Brownsville BISD educators. This is AOBE here with our new weekly show. I'm going to allow these beautiful ladies to introduce themselves.
Micaela Escobar. I'm also a BISD employee, and I'm the vice president for AOBE.
Hello, I'm Ida Abeldaño. I am a staff person, organizer for AOBE.
And Veronica Borrego, your AOBE president here. Welcome to the show. We want to make sure that everybody understands that this is going to be something we're going to be looking at doing weekly. We want to make sure that our members are informed with the most up-to-date information. We want to encourage you as well to post questions in the chat and make sure that you're asking things that you really need answers to, as far as what we're going to discuss today, which is going to be returning to work. Micaela, help me out. I forgot.
We're going to talk about different leaves.
Oh, yes. Rights for leave and possible compliance plan review. Sorry, I went blank. So if you guys have any questions in reference to what we are covering at the current moment, we will answer as many as we can. If there is, for some reason, an issue that we do not want to give any information that could be considered private, we would ask that you send us either a private message through our Facebook page, through our Association of Brownsville Educators Facebook page, or for you to send us an email at the aobeadvocate@gmail.com. All that information is down at the bottom on the banner that's running across, okay? So for the first thing that we're going to be discussing is going to be returning to work. Sorry, there was a...
So on the returning to work, just some things that we want to go over. We've been receiving a lot of phone calls, a lot of messages on emails that have gone out, or even text messages and phone calls from campuses or directors asking people to report to the workplace. So there's quite a bit of confusion going on out there. So we just want to be able to talk about what it is that we have clarified with the district as of actually a few minutes ago, because we have concerns that we see certain things at the school board meetings or through memos, and then are told differently after an administrator meeting or principal's meeting. So between yesterday and today, several messages were given out and sent out to employees, especially at campuses, telling them that they are going to be required to report to certain campuses. Not even, it's in some cases, it's not their own campus. They're being sent to another campus, and they are being asked to go and help in distributing materials or putting packets together of PPE and school supplies for students. The issue here that we have is that, as we have mentioned before, some at the school board meetings and at the memo that Dr. Gutierrez has sent out, he has made it very clear on those two platforms that the employees will have the option to work remotely. Because of that, then that gives you the ability to make that request. So as we have told our members, and several of them have done this and have already gotten their approval and their response, we have asked them to send an email to their immediate supervisor on that. If there's issues, or for whatever reason you're choosing to work remotely, you have the ability to send that email and request to work remotely. We have to be very clear on this because some people think that they have to disclose the reason why. It all depends, because there's different routes that we can go about with this. If you are just asking to work remotely, for example, we have a teacher and they are able to completely do their job 100% from their home, then they can make that request, and it is up to the immediate supervisor to say why they would be required to come into the workplace. For example, if there's a certain assignment that has to be given, or things like this. But because the superintendent has put in the memo saying you have the option, you're able to request that and hold them to it. And until he sends another email saying differently that you do not have that option anymore. So because of that, like I said, you're able to request that, and then they have to be able to accommodate you if you're able to do your job remotely. It is when you have a 504 hearing that we have to go through. Now, 504 hearings are for when they have to make accommodations for you, or they have to see if accommodations can be made for you. For example, if we have a custodian that is not able to perform their job and accommodations need to be met, let's say, for example, that he broke his leg, he cannot do his job, so the district cannot reach those accommodations to be able to keep that person at the workplace or continue to work. So right now at this time, and I hope I'm not confusing everybody, but right now at this time, the accommodations that they're having to do or meet is if you have a underlying health condition such as asthma or certain underlying health conditions, and you are able to do your job remotely, for example, a data entry clerk, a secretary, or things like that, then they can meet those accommodations and have you work from home. Those would be the accommodations that they would have to meet in this situation. So there's different scenarios, but I'm giving you all just a general one. And if you have a specific situation, please feel free to contact us, and we'll walk you through that process of what is the best fit for your situation or scenario. So with all of these different forms of communication that are going out, because again, it's not consistent across the district. Certain ones are just calling the employees. Certain people are just texting or using that program that they have, that they use to communicate with the entire campus. What is it, Remind or something like that? They're choosing different forms of communication to let them know that they're being required to report to whichever campus. So going back to that, you have to submit in writing to them that you are requesting to work remotely. And then if it gets denied and they tell you or give you a directive that you have to report, then that's when you have to notify us so we can go ahead and step in on that. And some of the administrators are going to refer you over to HR, and that is fine also. But if you are referred over to HR, it is very important to make sure you monitor your days, because they cannot be docking from your Family First Coronavirus Response Act days. Okay, we mentioned last time, those are your days that are available to you by that act, not by the district, not by your sick leave either. Those days are coming from the act. So if they refer you over to HR and HR tells you, yes, you're approved to work remotely or whatever the reason, and to be honest, I don't know why they're referring them over to HR. Maybe that's how they want to keep track of them, or whatever the case might be. But that's fine, as long as they do not mark you or code you absent those days, or that it is coming out of the Response Act days, then you will be fine. But that's the situation that is going on right now with people being asked to report to work. I can't stress enough about any communication that you have with your immediate supervisor for it to be in writing. Please try not to be sending text messages, even though text messages is fine. It can be held as binding, if you get a confirmation that way. But we definitely prefer emails. And so any questions that you might have in regards to working remotely, or if they're telling you to go in, please respond or ask the question through email. That is the best way to do that. And if you have any other issues or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. That's what we're here for. There's been so many questions with this. Even I believe there was a schedule that was sent out to with a list of staff people of what campus they were going to report to, or they are going to report to. So that can be very misleading and makes you feel like it is a directive to report to those campuses. And even the fact that some people said it is a directive makes it feel even more like a directive. But you are to respond to that email if you're choosing to work remotely. Okay, you respond to that email and you say that you are still choosing to work remotely, and you can just you do not have to say why, just due to concerns of health issues. You do not have to say what health issues, anything, or who has the health issues, anything like that. When you have to disclose that is only if we're going again through 504s or FMLA. Okay, guys. So I know it's very repetitive, but it kind of changes sometimes, especially because they change it on the other end from the district side. But these are your rights that you have. And like I said, because that memo that Dr. Gutierrez sent out saying that it is you will have the option to work remotely, then that is binding, and they have to give you that option if your job is able to be done remotely. There is certain positions even that we've had directors reach out to us and say, why are y'all saying that they want to work remotely? Our people are ready to go to the workplace. And that's great. For the people who do want to go and report to the workplace, more power to you. That is awesome. And, make sure to take all safety precautions in doing so. But we are here to help and protect and defend the people who don't feel safe, who have underlying health issues. And we're going to continue to do that. So the people who want to report to the workplace, thank God that you're able to do that. And please reach out to your immediate supervisor and let them know, I am willing to go and report and help out during this time. Right now is the opportunity to do that. They have to get out all of this PPE and school supplies to these students. They have to prepare these packets. So right now is the perfect time to do that. But if you can't, then that's what we're here for, and to make sure that your rights are not violated. And we're going to continue to speak up on your behalf. And we're going to continue to empower you and guide you so you will not be taken advantage of in regards to your rights on this. So like I mentioned before, please let us know if you have questions on this or a specific situation that you're encountering. Let us know, guys, and we're going to do all that we can to make sure that your rights are not being violated and that safety is being a priority at your campus or workplace.
We have a question. If they ask or order teachers to go in after the 19th, can teachers say no? If they do, will they be docked?
Yes, that goes back and that was probably submitted before I explained all of that. And you don't say no. You cannot just say, no, I don't want to work. So that's very important. You have to be able to work remotely. And from what I have seen, 100% of the teachers and the TAs can work remotely. Certain employees cannot, and we understand that, but a lot of them can. So on the teachers, you can tell them, but you have to say, I choose to work remotely. You cannot say, I do not want to work. You cannot say, I am scared to go work. You cannot do that. It's not about fear. It's not about anything like that. You have to just say, I am choosing to work remotely. Okay. And due to health issue concerns or concerns with health issues. And like I said, you do not have to disclose who or what concerns you have.
I would also like to add that documentation is so important. You have to write down the date, the time, and who you spoke to and what was conversed. So in case you need to go back and see, okay, who did I talk to in HR or what was said, you know exactly who you spoke to. And give options. I'll give myself as an example. I worked from 4 different offices. And I emailed my administrator and I told her, I fear because of the COVID situation, I want to work from one office. Please let me know where I can work from. And they assigned me one office instead of having to float in 4 different offices. So give options as to how they can accommodate you. And hopefully they will be able to accommodate you.
Yes, excellent point on that, Micaela. When you're talking to somebody in any department, HR, whatever, please do get the name of who you spoke to. And feel free to even send a follow-up email to that person. You know, thank you so much for your time today, explaining to me on FMLA and so on and so forth, whatever the case might be. Because you always want to have as much documentation and as much information as possible, especially because things are changing so rapidly here. And what they were emphasizing or requiring at one time or a week ago sometimes changes. But this about reporting to work has not changed because he has not sent out another email saying differently. It doesn't matter, and I'm not being rude and I'm not being disrespectful to any director or principal or anyone out there, because we represent some of you guys as well. But when you are just being told, oh, it's a directive, I need it in writing, and I'm sending that, this is my reply to that directive. And again, it doesn't apply to everyone, because if you do want to, and we have some people that are wanting to go to the workplace. We have some people for different reasons, many different reasons. Some can be because of the internet or the equipment, or they just want to get out of the house. They can't take it anymore and stuff. And I wish everyone would stay home. I really do. Because we continue to see the hospitals overloaded and at capacity. So I wish that they would do that and sacrifice a little bit longer so this can get under control. But if they want to report to the workplace, then that is fine. And we are still advocating for a safe workplace for those people as well. And for the custodians and for everyone else, maintenance as well. We're advocating for a lot and for every position that's out there, because they're dropping the ball on certain areas of safety. And we cannot sit back and just pretend that they're going to cover that or think that or fix it on their own. Sometimes it needs to be pointed out, sometimes a little bit more aggressively than other times, but we will be more than glad to continue to point out those issues and concerns.
Yeah. I just wanted to make a comment because I have the feed running on my phone as well. And First, there's a little bit of a delay, so when you're asking a question, it might take a little while to come up on our feed. It's just it's a little bit delayed. So as soon as it comes up on the feed, I'll bring it up to the screen, and that's directly to Sandra, who asked a question, and it just popped up right now. So I'm going to put it up on the screen. What about the coaches that are being asked to work making packets and distributing technology equipment? Can we ask to make the packets remote?
You can ask to work remotely, but you do need to say, like, for example, there's a perfect scenario on that one. They were asked to report to the campus to make those packets. That person volunteered and said, you know what, but this is I cannot report to the workplace for help because due to health issues, but I can do this. And what they were doing was calling students to talk to them as to when the packets were going to be ready, what were the hours, all of these different things. So they were able to give that immediate supervisor an option of how they can help and assist to work remotely. Okay, because yes, you're not, or maybe your immediate supervisor would be able to work with you and say, okay, you know what, take this amount of supplies and go ahead and make these packets at home. My thing is, if you have an underlying health condition or other reasons of why you're choosing to work remotely, I would not want you to be exposed by going over there and picking up those packets or things like that. That is why I would ask for you to give them other situations of ways that you can help by completing the task, but in a different way. That's my recommendation on that one.
And it's very important, like Ida keeps saying, that you ensure that when you are requesting it, that you make sure to put work remotely, because you're not asking for a break. You're not asking to not work. You're just asking to work in a safe environment, which is your home. So just make sure wording it that you make sure to put that you are willing to work remotely and that you will be available during work hours through any media or technology needed, email, Zoom, phone calls, whatever it is that they need you to be available by, that you're going to be available to work that way. So just make sure, like I said, it always has to say work remotely or work from home. As long as you make sure to, yes, as long as you make sure to state that you're willing to work. What should my response be to the directive to show up on Monday?
It should be that you cannot just say, no, I'm not going to show up. You're going to respond, or if they send you that directive by text or left it on a voicemail, you send an email as your response and say that you are choosing to work remotely due to concerns and health issues, and basically offer options. Like I mentioned on your other question, offer options on how you're willing to help them. If it's to distribute the packets or things like that, offer the options of how you're willing to help in other ways. But what I want them to get clear across their head, and this is what a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them or some of them have that idea that these people are trying to get away with not working. And that's not the case. That is not the case here, because we all know and we've all seen it that a lot of us are working a whole lot more from home than what we were working at the workplace. I've been working from home since March, completely from home. And let me tell you, my days are 12 to 14 hours now, because I just don't stop, because I don't get to walk away and drive away from the workplace. So that's the mindset that we're trying to change from administration, from some administrators, that they think like, hi, these people just don't want to work. And in meetings, I've corrected them when they say that, and I said, no, it's not that. It's that they're choosing to work remotely. They're not choosing to be at the workplace. And it goes back to that. I think that that's what they're trying to prevent, and trying to say, I don't know if they are set in the old ways and they're not willing to accept that this is where we're at now and possibly gonna be here in some way from here forward. In some things are going to change. It's not going to go 100% back to what we were. And they need to understand that this is the way that we are going to work for now and possibly for quite a while. So it's working remotely. It's not that they don't want to work. They need to get over that mindset that they have.
And like Ida said, it it is a little bit harder to work from your home because we have all the issues that come with being from at home, right? We have our kids at home, we have our pets at home. Like, I'm sitting here praying my dogs don't start barking right now because that's reality, right? And so it is a little bit harder to work from home, but it's the safest place right now. So that's what we need to make sure that they understand. It's really about safety. It's really about the fear of getting sick, and we don't know how it's going to affect us personally. Some people get affected in very mild or asymptomatic, and then some people lose their lives, and so you don't know how it's going to affect you personally. So it's a matter of safety, and until it's safe to go back, we want to work remotely. So that's the what needs to be understood. We're not trying to say we want to be on vacation, because it's far from a vacation.
Definitely.
We want to be in a safe place.
Yes, definitely. And Cindy is correct on what she's saying. I mean, this is a pandemic, and we all need to try to do our part. And that's why some of y'all have told me, I get a little too, I guess, emotional or a little too aggressive when I speak, and because I'm so frustrated that they don't get it at times that we're going through a pandemic, and the decision makers need to do everything in their power to be able to do their part in reducing the spread of this disease. So to us, seeing unnecessary exposure is really frustrating, because if these people can work remotely, for God's sake, let them work remotely. Like I said earlier, our hospitals are overloaded. The medical staff are exhausted, and we're not helping the situation if we are reporting to the workplace and we're at a computer all day long. And I could have been doing that from home and maybe reduce the risk of spreading this just a little bit more. And that's why it makes me very upset, because they don't realize how that impacts a lot of people. Because I can pick up the virus and recover from it, but God forbid I give it to someone else and they're not as lucky,
Right.
or they end up permanently disabled because of it, or end up having to live on dialysis because of it. And all because somebody had to stick to their guns and try to prove that, yes, you're going to be safe at work because I report to work and I'm safe. No, that's not okay with us. That is not okay. So, we need to do our part. Try to work remotely. If you feel that you are safe and you can work from the workplace, by all means, let your administrator know. And like I said, more power to you, and God bless you with that. And let's hope that you do stay safe.
And we do understand that there's inconsistencies across the district. There are principals that are asking what your schedule will be like, where you're going to be working from, so that they know which rooms have to be sanitized at the end of the day, and all of those things. But that's not happening at every campus. So That's the reason that we're discussing this right now, because we need you to understand that you have the option to work remotely. Okay. So as far as that goes, I think I have another question coming up.
You're asked to return to work after the 8 weeks.
What is the procedure then if we have health issues?
We have to see at that time where we're at. So it varies. Right now, we're in this situation because the memo that the superintendent has put out, that because he hasn't, or I don't know if it said he doesn't want to be the bad person, and he's trying to go about it this route of saying, oh, on paper, oh, you have the option, but verbally, oh, no, you don't. No, we go back to whatever is on paper. So as of right now, you have that option. We don't know in 8 weeks where we will be, but we will see what are the complete routes that you can take at that time. So be it FMLA, be it 504 accommodations, or different things. So it depends where we will be at that time.
And then that brings us to the next topic, which would be the rights for the FMLA leave.
Yes. Okay, so keep in mind that up until December 31st of 2020, we will have the rights under the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. That act protects you. It doesn't apply to all employees everywhere, but it does apply to school district employees. So that's why we fall under this act. Through this act is where you are covered to be able to take your 10 days first of leave if you contract the virus. Okay. If you have that, you are able to file for that, and it's 10 days. It does not affect your sick leave. If you have sick leave or if you don't, it does not, it doesn't matter. This comes from the state, okay, from this act. So you have those 10 days at full pay. Then, as we're seeing, some people are taking longer. Some are not being able to report back to work because they're still testing positive. So if you require longer than the 10 days, you can go into your FMLA through the act. So again, that one does not matter if you have days or not. You are going to use the days through the act. So through the act, if you go into FMLA, you will have up to 10 weeks for leave under FMLA, but that will be at 2/3 pay. Okay, now keep in mind, if you have days, and some people do, they've told me, oh, I've got 30 some days or whatever the case might be. If you have days, you have the option to use those days instead, and you get paid at 100%. Okay, but you have the option to, if you want to reserve those days and use the act first. My recommendation would be, if you can afford it, use the act days first, because those, as of right now, are only valid up until December 31st of 2020. We don't know if it's going to be extended. And if it is, great, you have a little bit longer. But if it doesn't get extended, and God forbid something happens in January or February, and we don't know how we're going to be at that time with this virus, but if you contract that and you have to go on leave, at least you still have your days. So that is why I would recommend try to save your days as much as possible. We've seen so many different scenarios with this. We've seen people say, I just can't do it anymore. I can't, I'm going to resign. I'm going to leave. I'm going to retire. Different things like that. I don't even care if it's going to affect my certification. I'm just very stressed. So with situations like that, we're asking them, please hold on. I know it's a very difficult time and a very stressful time. Believe me, I know it. I've seen it. It's impacted my family. So I know what it's like to to see that. I know what it's like to lose a loved one during this time. So I know it's a stressful time, but you don't want to do something that's going to hurt you in the long run or even hurt your certification. Mm-hmm. So if you have to, let's use one of these other options first. Let's go through the FMLA. We'll put you on that first. It gives you a little bit of time to see how it's going to be, because FMLA will give you an additional 10 weeks. That's the 10 weeks besides the 10 days at the beginning at the full pay. So let's go that route, and God willing, things will get better. And then if by the end of that term it hasn't, then by all means, I understand. You do what you have to do. But I don't want for you to do something and then end up regretting that down the line. And, hopefully, God willing, it gets under control. We don't know what's going to happen. But that's our thing on that with the FMLA, you're going to be allowed the additional 10 weeks at 2/3 of the pay. Keep in mind, though, if you are on any of those leaves, FMLA or that other, the 10-day leave, you are not required to do any work at all. If you have to do some work, if you're required to call students or things like that, then they have to code you under working remotely. Mm-hmm. So that is very important, because we've seen already some errors that were done on that, and we were able to get them corrected. Okay, so but it's important to be paying attention to your pay stubs and to see how your days are being coded if you've been out or if you were asked to go home or asked to quarantine. Okay, if you get to the point where you feel better and you're able to work, wait, where am I? I'm kidding. If you're able to work, say you've already gotten over the virus, you're feeling a whole lot better, but you're just still testing positive, you can at that time, if you're able to work remotely, you can at that time ask them, hey, can I start to work remotely? And that way, and the reason for that is so you can save some of these days. You don't want to just use them because we don't know what's up ahead, guys. So we have to be as prepared as possible, and hopefully it does get better, and hopefully you don't need to exhaust all of those days. But if you're feeling better and are able to, then let's save them up, and that way you'll have them for a later time.
Yes, and that goes to this what Sandra is asking. Is testing positive the only reason COVID-19 leave can be taken? I thought if you are caring for a family member in the home, tested positive, and if you need to care for a child or children that are now home due to the pandemic. So I'll answer part of this, and then I'll have Ida answer some of this. As far as just because you test positive, like Ida said, if you're still able to continue working because your symptoms are mild and you're not feeling that sick, then you can work remotely, right? So you won't have to be using those days. If you're caring for a family member at home that tested positive, but it still allows you to continue to work remotely, as long as you're able to continue to work remotely, we won't be using days because you're still working. Now, if this is for some reason you're in a position where it doesn't allow for you to continue working because, for example, a custodian may not be able to work every day remotely because they do have to go into the building and do certain things in the building, then you would have to use some of those days. Correct, Ida?
I'm so sorry. I was reading one of the comments on the side. Say that loud.
That if like, for example, if it was a custodian or a maintenance worker that for their job, they do sometimes have to report to the workplace, we may have to use FMLA in their case because their job requires them physically being in the building. Where if it was, for example, maybe a data entry clerk or a registrar or a secretary that can work from home and has access to all the programs on their laptops, they can continue to work without having to use the days.
Yes, you're correct on that. Yes,
Now,
I
I
believe.
do want to add one more thing here. I don't think the paycheck stub shows you how the days are being coded. You would have to go into the payroll system, and now it is online. Your username is your username for your computer, and your password is the same as the computer password. And then you're able to see how your days are being coded. If you see emergency sick leave, that's the Coronavirus Response Act. And if you haven't requested those days, then make sure you inquire as to why they were coded that way. Because remember, that is a limited number of days that you have under this act. So if you see a discrepancy, make sure, again, you document, you call somebody or email them. Everything has to be documented, date, time, who you spoke to, and what was the response. And let AOBE know in case you see a discrepancy.
Okay, we have a question from Mr. Trevino. What would be the best way to get these supplies and technology to students and parents? Someone has to do it. You guys fought so hard to get these supplies bought so we could teach from home. Now, how do we go about it? Maybe more days to pick up so there is less people there. So that's what one of the things that Ida had been mentioning before. When we did a survey, maybe about a month ago, asking to see if there were teachers or employees that were willing to return to work. We had about, I think it was like 33% of people that said that they were willing to return to the workplace. So, Mr. Trevino, for these people, what we're asking is that they call and they volunteer themselves because they are willing to go. Okay.
Mhm.
These are the people that we would be looking to help pass out the supplies, to help pass out the technology, to make sure that students and parents receive what it is that they need for the year or for the beginning of the school year. I'm sorry. So we are asking for those people to call their supervisors and offer their time. And we do understand that other people will have to come in. But what we are asking is that it be minimal people and that schedules be rotated.
And they
There,
follow CDC guidelines.
and that because we need to be following the CDC guidelines with the social distancing, with having the correct PPE for everybody and sufficient PPE for everybody. So this is already something that we have discussed with administration. We have asked them to contact and send out also a message asking who it is that is willing to come in. Today we did have a conversation with some people, and they did say that there were people in transportation that were wanting to come in and help. So if that's the case, those would be the ones we would reach out to first to make sure that we have enough people to do what we need to be getting done. And that's Mr. Trevino's question.
That is correct. So I do want to share. I think somebody had asked the question earlier. We didn't get to about the child care for the leave. I saw that on there. If they qualify for the child care as well. Remember though, when that was originally sent out, that was when the schools were completely closed. So now there is certain, it gives them a little bit more leeway where you're not going to be able to qualify through that. But if you have people, your children in daycare or something like that, and it's already at capacity, so then you have no child care. But as far as if they are at the age of school age, then since the schools are going to be available, you don't qualify through that route. So, but if you have little specific situations like that, let's see what we can do. Give us a call, reach out to us, and we'll see what other options we can explore. Sometimes you'd be surprised. Once we talk to you and get more information on your situation, we're able to see what other areas you're able to qualify for.
Yes. I'm going to read this. I'm not putting them up because they cover you, Ida. So I'm just, when you stop talking, I put them up. If the board is worried about teachers not wanting to work, according to them, they should spend one whole day or a week on professional development BISD is having every day and see how full these trainings are. The session I attended today, there were 112 teachers. Wow.
Wow. Maria, so that was in person? Because some of the stuff that we were able to address, for example, the first day of, I believe it was last week, they were requiring a in-person meeting, and they wanted everybody to be there. And as soon as we addressed it and brought it up to their attention, they accepted a Zoom meeting. Now, trainings are supposed to be virtual. I'm interested to find out if you can let us know which training this was, because there shouldn't have been that many people in one place doing a training. So please let us know about that.
Yes.
Robert, if you can contact on joining us for the fees, you can call our office because it depends on your position and classification. We can process your membership forms through there. We do want to thank everybody who has recently, in these past few months, we have gotten a lot of more members, which ends up giving us more power and leverage to work with administration. And that's why we're able to push and be as vocal as we are. And we will continue to do that on your behalf. And together, we're going to be able to bring about that change. But we thank and welcome all of our new members to AOBE. And we're grateful that you are here joining us, and invite other of your colleagues to join us as well, because that's going to make us even more powerful. And we will have a seat at the table with all of these decision makers sooner or later, in one way or another.
Yes, ma'am. Some teachers are going to get a stipend for coaching, band, choir, etc. These teachers are being sent to different campuses to help with whatever is needed of them to earn the stipend. Some teachers have underlying health conditions and no childcare. Is there any way to keep my stipend and work from home?
Yeah. Yes, and that's the one. The emails that were sent out and notifications that were sent out today. They mostly sent out the choir directors, I believe, that I saw, the band directors, the coaches, and a few other professions that are already on contract or receiving stipends. They were asked to report to different campuses. So with that, that's where I was saying at the beginning of the show, go ahead and send an email to your immediate supervisor. Even though you received that, it does not mean that you have to report to those campuses, but you do have to notify them by email that you are requesting to work remotely due to concerns with health issues. And then, like I mentioned, also even offer recommendations or ideas of what you're willing to do, be it calling students, calling parents, whatever it is that can be done, that you show that you're willing to work, because it's not about not wanting to work. It's about that not everybody falls under the same situation, and not everybody can go and report to the workplace. And guys, and one thing that I just want to throw in really quick on that, let's not be judgmental of the person who doesn't want to report to the workplace. We don't know everybody's situation. We don't know what it is, and some people do not disclose what it is that they're going through. If they're choosing to work remotely, let's not categorize them as that, oh, they're just being lazy or they're being dramatic or whatever the case might be that you might be thinking of them. We don't know that their personal situation or what it might be. Let's just try to be understanding of each other, especially during this difficult time. So I hope that we can have a little bit more compassion towards one another. It's not about wanting to take the easy way out.
Right. FMLA 10 weeks paid at 2/3 of your salary. Where are the first 10 days coming from at 100%? Though they're
Those are
also coming from there, from the family first. Yeah,
family
sorry.
Family First Coronavirus Response Act. Yes,
Yes.
I even say it in my sleep. So yes, that's where all of that is coming from. It's not coming from the district. It's not coming from the fund balance. So I don't want anybody to be trying to take credit at any board meeting or commending one another, saying, "Oh, well, we provided you this." No, this came from this Response Act. Okay, so
And,
that's
and, and like Micaela said, we just need to make sure everything is coded correctly and that they're not taking them away from the days that you have. This is a really long one, Ida. You're going to be hidden again.
it's okay.
Oh, Sandra's telling Rebecca you need to send an email response to your boss that you are willing and available to work remotely, assisting with packets and calling parents to inform them about the distribution due to underlying conditions or compromised immune system. But you need to say you will work remotely. Very good. Yes. So this is what this show is about, guys. This is exactly what this show is about. Because now Sandra has the information to help another 100 people that may be contacting her, maybe from her campus or from even from another district. So we just this is about empowering you, giving you the knowledge that you need to be able to. We're not trying to make excuses for anybody. We're not trying to get people to not work. We're not trying to. We just want you guys to know what your rights are, what is available to you, and Sandra has just proven and makes us very excited
Yeah.
because she now has the information to help people, and that's the point of this show. So thank you so much, Sandra, for doing exactly what we were trying to get done.
Yes, that makes us feel so much better. So we got to help out one another at this time. And right now there's just so much anxiety going around. There's so many things. So that's what we have to do at this time, is help one another.
And I would like to also add that AOBE is an employee professional association. It's employees helping employees. So exactly what you all said. We're learning from each other and helping others.
There's another excellent question from Sandra. Oh my gosh. Yes, the Leave Act does have different reasons to qualify for, but we have specified the reasons why you qualify in the district. So we narrowed it down to what applies to the district, and we sent out that flyer before for the Response Act leave as to why you qualify, which is that you contracted the virus yourself, you're caring for someone who contracted the virus that you are responsible for, or you do not have childcare. So, and like I mentioned, the childcare changed now because the districts are open, but those are the reasons for qualifying for district employees.
Yep.
Thank you. You are welcome. And on that, Ms. Herrera is saying, thank you for speaking up on behalf of school nurses. We're going to speak on behalf of whoever it is that reaches out to us. And if they're valid concerns and your rights are being violated, we will continue to speak up. We still be going in on August the 12th. You requested in writing to your immediate supervisor that you are requesting to work remotely. On you all's, I believe I saw, I even mentioned that one at the school board meeting, how there is 4 pages in regards to distance learning for health services. So why everybody would be mandated to report is beyond me. If there is things that they can be doing remotely. So request it in writing. Do not go through any other route. Do not file anything else, because you have the right to work remotely.
Since schools are not open right now, and I am being asked to report Monday, then caring for my children that are home right now.
Am I able to use my COVID?
10-day leave.
You, the thing with the COVID-19 days, you are able to use it for childcare, but the childcare goes automatically into the 2/3 pay. But if you are a teacher or things like that, and I'm thinking you are either a teacher or a professional administrator or a clerical position, you are able to request to work remotely. So don't go into your COVID days yet. Do not use that because, like I mentioned earlier, you want to try to reserve those for when it's truly needed. And right now, if you can work remotely, request it in writing to work remotely first. Hi.
Hello.
No one is being dramatic. Our community is going through an outbreak. People are dying left and right. It's even irresponsible for one to go on campus. Remember, some of us have it and have no symptoms, but can still affect others. That's exactly right,
Very
Sandra. That's what is so scary at this time. So, maybe it's because they haven't seen it up close or it hasn't hit home yet, but we need to all try to work together here and do our part. And sometimes it's a sacrifice. It feels like it's a big sacrifice, but you don't want to see what other people have gone through and losing a loved one or still trying to recover months later from this horrible virus.
correct. AOBE, TSTA, and NEA all the same. Yes. AOBE is our local association. That's our Brownsville Local Association. It's a chartered local. TSTA is our state affiliate. That's Texas State Teachers Association. And then NEA is our national affiliate, and that is the National Educators Association. And so when you sign up for AOBE, essentially you're signing up for 3 associations in one. And we are the largest association in the world with over 3 million members, based on the numbers from NEA, from our national affiliate. So we have, a huge amount of backing when it comes to voting and political pool. So yes, it's all the same. It's all the same association. You're signing up for all 3 at the same time.
In addition, you also have benefits because you belong to 3, including a complimentary life insurance. So if you haven't signed up, reach out to us so we can guide you or send you the link so that you can sign up for your benefits and designate your beneficiary.
Yes. Miss Nelda, thank you so much. We miss you.
Yes. Hi.
One of the best former board members. She's now enjoying her retirement. We love her. Very knowledgeable lady. We miss you very much, Miss Nelda. Okay, let me see. We have a couple more questions, and then we're going to move into our last topic. Thank you so much for Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for letting us see that it's actually working. That us giving the information is going to be powerful and helpful for you guys.
Yes.
She did. Told her go in.
Go ahead and forward that to us so we can go ahead and handle it on our side.
Yes. Martinez. Yes, but just remember that you will be only getting at 2/3 pay.
That is correct. You are able to, now keep in mind though, I'm thinking Ms. Martinez, if you've already used some of your FMLA, it does come into, your FMLA does get maxed out. So if you've used some already for your maternity leave, you can only use a maximum of 12 weeks for the year. That's why I say, like, hey, let's try to save as much as we can of our leave until it's absolutely necessary. My recommendation is if you have a baby, and we have some members that are doing this, they're requesting to work remotely. Sorry, I don't know whose mic was that, but they're requesting to work remotely. So do that, and that way you stay in a safe environment at home with your baby, and you're able to do that. So hopefully you're in a position where your job can be completed remotely. But if you have any other questions, give us a call so we can see. Oh, okay. So on how to switch, go ahead and message us your personal email, and we'll go ahead and send you a membership form so we can go ahead and activate your membership and help you through your process.
Yeah, but NEA is AOBE. We're all the same. We're affiliated. So just check your pay stub, and you'll see if in your pay stub you will see AOBE. Oh, thank you, Ms. Garcia. Let me see. All teacher associations, local AOBE. Yes, the local is AOBE, state TSTA, and the national is NEA. Yes, thank you. Even though I retired this May, thank you, ladies, for. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to be moving into our last topic because we've already covered our rights with FMLA, and we've already covered a leave. I mean, working remotely. So we're going to be talking about the compliance plan. Yes, the compensation plan. So we're gonna yes, the compensation plan, and we're gonna have Miss Micaela discuss that for us.
So what we did in AOBE is we created a worksheet to determine whether your compensation this year, this new year, is in the correct amount. And in the small sample that we did, we realized that employees with 6 years or even 13 years, they were getting paid exactly the same amount and only a few cents difference from those that are coming in to the district with only a few months. So we would like to know if you're interested in finding out if you're placed in the correct amount. And I need for you to email AOBE at the email listed below. And we need your legal name. Because if your name is Maria, if you tell me Mary, then I won't know who you are based on the payroll. We need your classification. Are you manual trades? Are you classified? Are you certified? We need your level. What level is your new level assigned under the compensation plan? Is it a level 6, level 7, level 2, whatever it be? We need your new hourly rate. What are you getting paid on your paycheck stub? And how many years you have within BISD? And then, of course, the last thing that I need to know is your day. Are you working 226, 180, whatever it be? And then with that information, we're going to compile and see how many employees are correctly paid, or there may be some discrepancies. Based on the sample that we saw, employees with tenures are not getting the compensation they should be receiving. So if you're interested in finding out or participating in this survey, let us know. Email us. Give us this information, and we'll let you know what the outcome is. And if there is any discrepancies, we get it corrected.
Yes, and we want to do that before they finalize the second phase of the compliance plan. So just make sure that you contact us so that we can get that information ready and available to you.
And I think we had mentioned, Ida, correct me if I'm wrong, that the deadline would be about the 19th of this month.
Yes, we're going to go for that. And we are going to be sending out to our membership the information that Micaela mentioned. So you'll know exactly what to submit to us, and it'll have the deadline on there. So, and the reason for this is because we've just had so many questions and concerns regarding this new compensation plan, and it's a big issue. We're not just dealing with safety issues right now. We're dealing with a lot of different issues, but this compensation plan is a close second place. Well, no, the safety one is pretty bad. But sorry, but we'll send something out in regards to the information that she mentioned.
Yes. What if they refuse to put the denial to work from home in writing? Some administrators are notorious for answering back via phone call instead of in black and white.
Even when they answer back via phone call, you reply back? and you just say, thank you very much for calling me and telling me that I have to report to work or that I can work remotely.
Yes, you can follow up. Yeah, you do a follow-up email as per our conversation
On this date?
on 8/6 at 8:04 p.m. You stated that, blah, blah, blah. That's your documentation in writing, that's what was stated to you. Keep up the great work, ladies. I'm very proud of you. Thank you, Mr. Cortez.
Hi, Mr. Cortez.
An amazing advocate for public education. Besides life insurance, do you guys offer other insurances?
Yes. NEA has a lot of benefits. We can send you the link. You'll be surprised that they even have an affiliation with a bank. It has offers for credit cards, car loans, you name it. I mean, belonging to the largest national association has a lot of perks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Including if you want to further your education, there's also assistance with student loans. There's assistance with buying your books. There's different programs that you can log into for professional development through the national. There's pet insurance.
There's professional liability insurance.
There's professional liability. There's identity theft. Security with that. There's
part of it.
On car rentals, discounts on hotels, discounts on theme parks, although none of that right now is really where we want to be, right? But that is available for when we do get to the point where we're able to do those things again. So yes, there is a lot of benefits being with
I just remembered, we do have the information on our website, myaobe.com.
Yes, and that's also right here at the bottom on the banner scrolling along the bottom. There are a lot of teachers, students, parents. Yes, a lot of people are suffering from anxiety right now. And so we're trying to make sure that you all have this information so that will help also to relieve the stress, because you will know what it is that is going on and what it is that you have the right to do. So information is not only power, it also helps to ease anxiety, because you know what is expected or what rights you have.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Murillo.
Thank you.
Another fabulous board member.
Yes.
Enjoying retirement.
Enjoying retirement. Socialization is the main objective for pre-K and K. How are teachers going to handle that? Well, luckily, we won't have to do that in the beginning of the year, but that is going to be very difficult when it does come to that. I work with amazing, amazing teachers, and that is one of the stresses, because it is also part of your TEKS. So, it's difficult. Yes, please send me the link. Yes. So if a parent chooses to send their child to school on August 25th, they have that option.
On the 25th, no, on 25th, it's still distance learning. So unless they change that, because they have been changing things quite a bit, but from what I've seen right now, it is still distance learning, and we don't know when they will change that, but I'm sure they will let everyone know.
Now, the fact that there's being an option given to the teachers to work from school, that's mainly, like Ida mentioned earlier, if your internet is slow, if you don't have a functioning laptop or a computer that has the camera and the microphone so that the students can hear you, that's mainly for that. But after our time is up in this distance learning, we'll see where we are and what it is that the state is requiring at that time, to see even if we can continue with the distance learning for safety. I mean, we are a hot spot. We made it on the national news, which is really scary. So send you an inbox. Okay, we'll get to you, Ms. Herrera. Thank you so much. It's really delayed on the computer. Does anybody else, if anybody else has any questions or any concerns, please feel free to contact us through our email, which is aobeadvocate@gmail.com. You can call our office at 621-3010, or you can visit our website, which is updated with information as far as calendars and different things like that at myaobe.com.
And if you also wish to join, the application is also there and it is fillable.
Yes, you can fill it out on there. Is the district responsible to provide me with the equipment to work remotely?
Yes, they are. And it's actually in their plan. And that is some of the things that they have been saying that they have been ordering all summer long. So you need to make that request if you need something in writing. We were very upset to find out when we asked for that input from our members to see how much they have been spending on their own equipment to be prepared for distance learning. The majority of them have been spending an average of $500 to $1,000. And that's just heartbreaking to have to see them take on that expense. But the district should be providing you with your equipment to work remotely. So put it in writing on what you are requesting and what you need to be able to do your job remotely.
Yes. Okay, I think that's the last question we have.
Great. Okay. Well, want to thank everybody for their participation, for the messages and everything, and for helping each other out during this difficult time. You know, we're all going through this, and you know, we're not trying to be negative on anything. What we're trying to do is protect everyone with their rights of what they have. So that's the reason that we're here. We're here for you all, and we're going to continue to advocate as much as we can on your behalf, and we're going to continue to empower you, because it's been amazing to see how many people have been able to take advantage of these different leaves that are available for them once they were aware of the process and what rights they had in the process of it. So that is why we're here, to help you through this difficult time. And we're going to continue to empower you, and we encourage you to get more involved if you can. Mm-hmm. And because the more involved you get, the more knowledgeable you become of your rights, and that is some powerful stuff to have. So we thank everyone that has reached out, and we encourage you to continue to reach out to us. So. Thank you,
Ms. Advocate. Thank you so much. Micaela, do you have any last words?
Para los miembros que hablan español, también los podemos ayudar con ustedes. Nos pueden hablar al teléfono que está en la pantalla, o pueden mandarnos un correo electrónico a nuestra dirección. Y con gusto le ayudamos.
Yes. Yes. And for myself, I just want to let you know, we're here for you. We understand. We sympathize with, you know, everything that everybody is going through. We're not really trying to stir up trouble. We're just trying to make sure that everybody stays safe, and that, you know, we want the district to understand that we're trying to help. We're trying to alleviate the problem by making sure people are exposed as little as possible, and bring down the numbers in our city, which is, I mean, the numbers are really crazy high right now, guys. And so, you know, we just ask that everybody follow the guidelines, wear your mask, stay away, stay home as much as you can, and reach out if you need any help with anything. We're here for you. We did want to also mention that we did lose somebody today, not to COVID, but was it today? Yes, this morning, right? Miss Kathleen Jimenez, who was a longtime employee with the district, beautiful soul. So please keep her family in your prayers. This is a very hard time it's hard enough to lose a loved one, but this is a very hard time to lose a loved one because of all the restrictions there are and everything in the funeral home. So please keep that family in your prayers and all the family of those that are suffering the losses that are coming with this very deadly virus. Thank you for the time that you guys have put in watching our show. Thank you for those who have participated and commented and asked questions. And please understand that when you do contact us, either through email, Facebook Messenger, or calling our office, anything that you, any information is kept confidential. So please know, that we're here for you, and whatever you need, we're available. Thank you so much for all of your time, and we hope that this was an informative show for you, and we will see you next Thursday at 7. Have a good evening.
Hold on, real quick.
Yes.
I saw another question. I know there's so many other comments that we didn't get to, and we're not, not paying attention to those. But I did want to answer that one on the stipend. The superintendent did say that at this time that he was not going to give a stipend because that's why the schools were open. I'm not being mean. I'm not being ugly about that. That is how he said that. So that is why they are not given a internet stipend at this time. So it does not mean that that's not what we're asking for. We are pushing for that because we all know that there has been a lot of additional expenses for working remotely as well. So we are pushing for an additional stipend to come along as we did last year. And even though it wasn't that much last year, we were asking for more, but they ended up just approving that. But as of right now, there is no stipend on approved, but we are going to push it as much as we can because we know that the employees do deserve that and so much more. So much more. So thank you so much. All these.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you next week at 7.